Hi, welcome. It's Mitch and Amanda here, and we are having a bit of a conversation today about some words that we use in Christian circles that sometimes we can think mean one thing, but actually when we dig into it, might mean something else. And I think a word that we use quite a lot in culture today is forgiveness. And I think that what we mean to forgive on a human level can maybe look a little bit different to what God means. So do you want to unpack that a little bit for us?
Great point, Amanda. And I often think of the Lord's Prayer when I think of forgiveness. I was taught the Our Father, the Lord's Prayer, when I was a kid, and there's a little bit in it, and I wish Jesus hadn't said it, but I'm kind of glad he did. And it's this moment where he says, "Forgive us our sins, just as we forgive those who sin against us." I'm like, like that's the tough bit, isn't it? Try and forgive others who have sinned or offended us. So I want to quickly unpack, Amanda, 5 things of what forgiveness is not, because sometimes when you understand what something is not, it helps you understand what it is. So first of all, forgiveness is not forgetting. That's a little phrase that we use today, but that is not helpful, because if you've been, for example, abused as a child, you may never forget that, but you can forgive, release, and move on. Secondly, forgiveness does not mean it doesn't stop hurting. If someone has hurt you deeply, you can release them in forgiveness, but the hurt can still be there. Thirdly, forgiveness does not mean neglecting injustice. If someone comes in and robs my house, I can forgive them, but you're still going to go through the courts, mate. The justice is still going to get played out. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. And that's important. I can forgive you, Amanda, but you may not want to be reconciled to me. Reconciliation is a two-way thing. Forgiveness is one way where I release. Next, forgiveness is not just a one-off experience. We need to sometimes repeatedly go into a moment where perhaps that person is offended us or come to light again. Lord, I release them. I forgive them from that. So on a human level, forgiveness is releasing others, and it's releasing ourselves. It's very empowering whenever we forgive ourselves and forgive others. But on a God level, all of those things, actually, where I say forgiveness is not, God's forgiveness includes each of them. In God's forgiveness, he chooses to forget. In God's forgiveness, he releases us from the pain. In God's forgiveness, he doesn't neglect justice, but actually he presents justice in his son. In God's forgiveness, he does reconcile us. In God's forgiveness, it is a one-off. Jesus on the cross. Hopefully that helps.
Oh, it's so good. And forgiveness is for everyone. It may be something that you need to experience or something that you need to extend to others, but it's in your reach today. God bless.
God bless.